Put in place to help downtown Vinton building owners to improve the look of their exteriors, the Facade program acts as a grant that does not need to be repaid for up to $5,000 that can be used toward any improvements on the exterior of a building. This grant can even be used for landscaping or even parking improvements as long as it fits the guidelines for the program.
There was some old landscaping. We cleaned up the landscaping, as you can see, added the flag, redid the sign. We put in new vinyl on the side of the building, replaced the downspouts of the guttering. We put in new columns, redid the front door, put new lighting outside, some exterior lighting.
Well, we replaced the windows. They had been taken out from the original building and shortened to where they had taken all the main windows out and put plyboard and just a piece of glass. So we replaced all of those with brand new storefront windows, and then we replaced the front door here had like a residential style door. So we replaced the storefront door, the residential door with the storefront door, and then repainted some of the area. The parapet at the top of the building had shifted from, I guess, years where water had gotten down behind the building and between the roof and the building, so it had shifted out. So we had to replace part of the brick at the top of the building to make it straight, and then we replaced the lintels at the top of the apartment windows. So, and then we added the 4 exterior lights.
The Facade Grant Program was established in 2004 when the Town Council adopted their comprehensive plan for downtown development. Applications can be from $500 to $5,000 to make improvements to a storefront or upper floor of a building.
I wanted to do some changing on the sign, and Greg, who works with me, is in the woodworking business, and so he introduced this to me, and so I decided to go for it. So I'm glad I did. It made a beautiful sign for the building. It is a molding that won't rot. It's a material, I forget the name of it, but anyway, we ordered this from out of town, and once again, Ed, who works with me, he was the designer of the painting. He's more familiar with that than I was, so I let him take charge of that.
Well, basically, it was just a complete facial. Okay, originally we had put the awning on when we first bought the building, just to break up the 2 different facades, the stone and the brick above. And then we were approached with the Facade Grant Program, and we go, well, let's do it all. So we decided to do the crown molding with the dental on there. We did a faux painting on the brick above. We did staining on the stone below, and we did the window treatments above the window. Not to mention painting all the way down the side of the building and patching up some windows. I mean, we did a nice patch job, and it just basically completely renovated the exterior of the building. Made all the difference in the world. As soon as we were completed, we had people just driving by and stopping and looking at the building. And I think it was completed just right before one of the festivals this past summer, and received a lot of good comments from it at that time.
Currently, the program is primarily for a section of downtown Vinton, comprising the area from Washington Avenue up to Maple Street and from Jackson Street to Walnut Avenue. It is designed to improve the look of downtown and to encourage the return of customer traffic to downtown destinations.
It does so much for the downtown atmosphere. I think that, today people like downtown living, whether you're in downtown Roanoke or downtown Vinton, because there is downtown living in downtown Vinton. And I think that it sort of invites people in and creates a really warm environment, and people want to walk the streets and shop and eat. And I recommend for everybody that has a building in downtown Vinton to do it, because it's easy and it does nothing but improve your building and the value of your building at that. So
I've offered my services just to go around to a couple of the local building owners and business owners to do a free sketch of their building just to try and get them on board. So yes, I would definitely recommend this. It was so easy to work with the town. I don't know why everybody's not on board already.
We're all looking to try to save a few dollars wherever we can, and this certainly did help the economic conditions for my company, and we didn't have to spend as much money as frankly we had in the budget, so it worked out very well for us that way.
I was hoping that some of the other businesses in the downtown area would go with it, and there have been a number of people who have decided that it would be good for a lot of the other businesses if they would encourage it, and it really helps the looks of the downtown buildings.
The Facade Grant Program is governed by a set of guidelines that were created by a citizens committee that involve business people and town leaders. Some of the guidelines include architectural features, recommended color treatments, and in some cases the type of materials that are acceptable.
Well, when we originally purchased the building, the brick was very old at the top there. You could see some really dark stains through the brick. The stone, original stone facade was very pinkish, and with what we were going to do with the building, we really wanted to change the color, tone it down a little bit, make it a little bit more presentable. And so what we did was we contracted a faux painter, and she did a fabulous job on the brick just by doing a dry brush application, and which really toned down the brick a bit, giving it more of an aged feel without looking dirty. And then with the brick, the stone below, she came in and she did a stain for us, and she kept it all within the same color palette, so everything just really blended well together. And then she threw in painting the awning for us too, so it really did a nice contrast with the brown tones.
if you could have seen the building before was very run down, and you could just tell that it didn't invite people in. So the windows opened up the inside, and it made it appealing to the eye when somebody wanted to open up a business, or for somebody that wants to come in and have breakfast or lunch here at IDK. So, you know, it's a tremendous difference, night and day.
To get started in the program, visit the planning department of the town and get an application, or one can be downloaded from the town's website. A concept of the improvements that are planned must be submitted with your application. Either a drawing or other digital medium is acceptable.
Yeah, I designed it myself, but the inspiration came from visiting a lot of the local towns, even as far north as Jim Thorpe, Pennsylvania. Just went around, did a lot of photography of a lot of different facades, came back, and with my photography and graphic arts background, just played around in Photoshop and basically put the whole facade together in Photoshop so that it actually looked like a photograph of an existing building, which made it a lot easier to make the presentation to the town for what we were going to do.
Once the application is reviewed by the town, it is sent to the Economic Development Authority for approval. At that time, an owner or contractor must apply for all required permits. After the improvements are completed, the town will review the work and reimburse the business owner appropriately for money spent.
I did a hand drawing myself and just did a sketch of everything that we were going to do, wrote out and had it priced. And it was a very simple process to just turn it into you folks then and get the approval through Roanoke County and you.
Well, when I first got introduced to the idea, of course I went to the town and talked about it, and I'll have to say they were excellent in helping me, and that encouraged me too. So I'm glad I went ahead with the operation.
The town of Vinton was very easy to work with, very open to help with any suggestions or places to go if I had questions about what I wanted to do. It was a cinch, really. I mean, I've had more difficulty working with other people with my business. This was no problem at all. Very, very simple.
1 year is allowed to finish facade improvements, although most are completed in a matter of a few weeks or months depending on the scale of the project. Remember, a facade can be more than just the front of a building. The policy states that any side of a building that is visible from a main street is eligible for improvements.
The town had told me that since the side of my building also was exposed to a town road, that we could get the work done on the side of the building. And we were fortunate enough to even have a portion of the back of the building that was very visible. So we did manage to get painting done on the back side and the side here, and we did some window treatments right in here. We replaced the windows there and even replaced the door on the side. So yeah, the facade grant program includes not only just the front of the building, but also any portion of the building that faces any town road.
For more information on the Facade Grant Program, call the Planning Department of the Town of Vinton at 540-983-0601 or go online to vintonva.gov.